Interviews with business owners and veteran executives who share their wisdom and expertise to help you de-stress, free up time, and make more money. Profits of IT. Welcome back to the Profits of IT. I am Jim Punzenberger, your host and the creator of the Managed Prospecting System. If you're looking to generate leads and appointments with hyper-personalized outreach, check out managedprospectingsystem.com. I'm excited to have Erik with me today. Erik, why don't you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, Jim, thanks so much for having me on the show. I'm not sure I'm a prophet. I'm more of a like participate in the like IT chaos that has been the past 5 years, but I'm the chief operating officer and co-founder of ProdPerfect. ProdPerfect is a platform that autonomously tests our customers' web applications by analyzing traffic. So we see how users use their application, and we're able to develop end-to-end tests that reflect that traffic and deploy, maintain, and evolve those.
Cool. And I also heard that you're a Packers fan. It's football season now, so I guess as a fellow Packers fan, I guess got to mention that. I can't let that go without talking about the Packers, and it's just a fun topic for me. But I suppose with the win this weekend, you're excited about this coming weekend.
Yeah, I've been a Packers fan since 1995, even though I lived in Pennsylvania, and it was because John Madden in 95, when I just remember one game, he says Brett Favre is the toughest guy in football. I was like, John Madden is God. He must be right. So I became a Packers fan, and yeah, obviously this year started out a little rough. I'll keep it quick because not everyone is a football fan, but this year started out a little rough. But I'm very excited for us to go curb stomp the Steelers next week. I think it's going to be ugly, and compared to last week, which my heart rate spiked above 140. I'm wearing my little Fitbit and see myself freak out. I think this one's I'm going to be a lot calmer.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it also. But anyways, what would you say is your superpower when it comes to business, and how can others learn from that and apply that in their own lives and businesses?
Great question. And I have a very like strong opinion on what is our superpower. It is recruiting and retention. And that comes from culture. So I'll keep it quick for now, but we pay market, but we don't try to fight for top of market dollar to try to get talent. And despite that, ProdPerfect has given out as of today, 56 job offers ever. 55 of them have been accepted.
Wow.
Nobody has ever left my revenue organization. We had like 2 or 3 people move on from engineering voluntarily because it was like the right next thing for their career. Everyone's on board with it. We even talk about people leaving ProdPerfect all the time. Like, you should have a plan to leave ProdPerfect. You should know what you're like. We should talk about what you're going to do next and how we set you up. But people don't leave. They stay. They love it here. It's a little bit of a cult. And I think that our ability to get who we want and keep who we want is our massive comparative advantage in what is right now the single most competitive tech and engineering marketplace that has ever existed, labor marketplace that has ever existed.
So how does one get good at that, recruiting and hiring employees?
The biggest thing I think is that employees, especially like skilled employees, younger employees, but even older employees, they're just like watching the world change around them. They want more of a say in their own culture. They want more of a say in their own work. And it's not, I think like older employers see this as a selfish thing, as a dangerous thing. Oh, we got to give up control, right? What are these young millennials going to do with the company? But at the end of the day, like, people spend the vast majority of their waking time and energy at work. And if you're looking for, you're looking for talented people, that they're highly motivated people who like want to kick butt at stuff. And so if that's the kind of people you're recruiting, giving them power, giving them like frontline accountability, high level of ownership, a lot of say in how the business goes and not the business strategy, because that's delegated to the leaders of the company, but to like the company culture and our structure, all that stuff, like they're going to do a great job with it. They see stuff that you don't like. There's a lot of company benefits to it. And I think so many leaders are afraid to put power on the front lines. And we've reaped huge rewards from it. And in particular, these like highly motivated, highly talented employees don't want to be handed tasks. They want to build something, right? They want to creatively participate in building something great. We give people the space and opportunity to do that. And, we do a lot of getting out of the way, and everybody loves it.
Awesome. And also, is there anything particular that you look for specifically when you're hiring? What does that process look like to find the ideal employees?
There's a lot of technical talent out there. And that's actually, there's very good standardized ways for looking for technical talent. The thing that we recruit for separately is we're looking for people that are highly ethical, highly coachable, and highly motivated. Those are the three big character traits that we look for. Because if you build a company of highly ethical, highly coachable, highly motivated people, they're going to get along well. They're going to all know that they're all coming from a good place and that we like share the same goals. And so disagreements are like super productive rather than unproductive. And if they're like motivated and coachable, they learn quickly, they give feedback, they receive feedback, they grow, the company grows. These are the three things that we recruit for. And we recruit for them through a combination of behavioral interviews where there's some like good, if you look for like, for example, emotional intelligence questions on behavioral interview, or for your behavioral interview, we use a battery of those. And we also put people through highly stressful role plays. And those highly stressful role plays are where we see people's character really shine. Because you can claim anything you want, but like we put you under stress, how are you going to handle yourself? Tells us a lot more about folks. And I actually think that this, like, we don't have an easy recruiting process, but we do have one that we're also very transparent about. Like we tell people afterward what we're looking for and why we put them through this. And so our recruiting process is even a magnet for us because we tell people straight up that we recruit everyone like this. And so they recognize that they're going to join a company of people who are highly ethical, highly motivated, and highly coachable. And wouldn't you want to join a company that is full of people like that? You absolutely would. Yeah.
And so you kind of, so to speak, in the interview process, you throw them in the pool with the sharks and see if they can swim out or not.
Exactly. And those who do know that they're joining a company of a bunch of other like high quality divers or whatever the analogy.
So like they know that everybody else in the company swam through the pool. It's the sharks in it, made it out alive, and
exactly
they're gonna have their back when it comes to swimming in the pool with the sharks.
Great. Yeah, great analogy. I love it. And I think in particular, one of the things that like so many companies miss is they separate like recruiting from selection, right? They think of the processes of trying to attract talent and trying to select talent as two separate processes, right? But your selection process should be part of your attraction, and your attraction process should be part of your selection, right? Because you should be putting yourself out there as a company that stands for stuff, right? And there are people that don't like, that aren't going to want ProdPerfect because it is like you do own a lot, right? There are people who don't want to have that level of responsibility, and that's fine. They can go work somewhere else.
They just want to swim in a pool without sharks in it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think those two processes should be working very, very hand in hand, and it's something that that I'm very proud of that we've pulled off.
Cool. So any other tips regarding this topic?
So I think I talked a lot about recruiting. I think in particular for retention, there's a lot that we do right with retention. And one of those things is, we have one-on-ones everyone has one-on-ones with the founders where we've demonstrated that we're really open to whatever feedback you have. Doesn't mean we'll do it, right? But you're never going to get in trouble for like giving the founders the real deal. We want it. We also are transparent about everyone's compensation. And we show everyone the database that we use to understand what's in the market so that people know that they're being paid market, right? So they don't have to spend that time wondering. People know they're being paid fairly regardless of their gender, race, et cetera. So they don't have to spend time wondering, right? And that's something that they know that they can't get in other places. And for us, it just saves us a lot of like headache and time. But I think the thing that so we are very transparent about what's going on with the company. We work on making sure that people are transparent about how they're feeling so you can respond to it. But I think the thing that's that is like most unexpected that we do that is good for retention is I ask people every 6 months during performance review to tell me what they're going to do after ProdPerfect. And that seems backwards, right? Because it has people thinking about leaving. But what it means is that people don't leave for grass is greener fallacy. They go, we have people think about what are the things I want to learn and develop and acquire at ProdPerfect, wealth, connections, pedigree, etc. What do I want to acquire in order to set me up for my next step? So it means that people know why they're here. And that means people stay.
Awesome. Cool. So I guess elevator pitch on ProdPerfect. Who's
Yes.
ideal client for you guys, and why should they do business with you?
Great. Thank you for the opportunity. So ultimately, 10 years from now, there will not be quality assurance automation engineers. AI will be better. AI is already better at testing your application than engineers are. There's a lot of cool tools out there that make testing less of a headache than Selenium. But what ProdPerfect what ProdPerfect is able to do is understand not only how to deploy a test, how to write a test that's stable, but understand what to test by paying attention to what your users are doing and how they're interacting with your application. So the right kinds of, ultimately every web application will be using ProdPerfect, or if there's ever a competitor. But today, the customers that are best for us are those who are either one, like on their kind of like Silicon Valley rocket ship trajectory, where they're saying, okay, we're moving really fast. We want end-to-end testing, but we don't we don't want to hire a whole team. We can't add hours and hours and hours to our deployment process. This needs to go fast. It just needs to work. We're a great, just like plug it in and help support your like continuous deployment posture, or enterprises who have reached the point that they're like giant, teetering, creaky, unstable end-to-end testing process is holding them back and costing them way, way, way too much, and they need to start over. And so we help with sort of like enterprises in that digital transformation stage as well.
Cool. And if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, how would they do that?
So easiest place is prodperfect.com. There's a ton of ways to like get in touch with the sales team. If you want to talk to me personally, find me on LinkedIn. So I'm very active there. It's Erik Fogg, ErikFogg. So the way to do is LinkedIn/IN/Erik Fogg. I'm a pretty gabby fellow there, and always sharing my opinions, whether you're interested or not. So if you want to come give me a hard time, that's the place for it.
So either give you cheers or jeers.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll take them, but I'll take it all. As we learned from some recent elections, any publicity is good publicity.
Cool. Great. And any last closing remarks before we sound off here?
Yeah, my closing thing is, if I'm going to be a prophet, like, Drew Housen recently said this among a bunch of other people. Work is changing in ways that are totally irreconcilable with the past, and a lot of people are afraid of this. As a business leader, as a mustache twisting, monocle wearing capitalist, there is nothing to be afraid of here. This is all really, really good, positive stuff. You need to run at it. Like, don't be the laggard. Don't be the slow adopter. You'll get your butt kicked in the competitive game. But you're also, even with the employees that you have now, competition aside, there's this like bright future for a much better company that people love working at and going to give you their best every day, and is going to make you want to be there and give your best every day. And why wouldn't you want to do that? So run to the future, folks. Don't hang on to the past.
Awesome. That's great advice.
Thanks.
So thank you for your time today, Erik.
Absolute pleasure, Jim.
It's been very insightful.
Thanks.
And until next time,
go Pack,
on
go.
The Profits of IT. I'm Jim Punzenberger, your host. And if you're struggling with generating new sales opportunities, once again, check out managedprospectingsystem.com. And until next time, bye for now.
See you guys.
Thank you for tuning in to the Profits of IT. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and share.